musical influences in the first place?
Well, I mean, everybody has different influences, you know. We all have similar ones, but then everyone else also listens to their own types of music, you know. But as far as, I mean, it's real. I think that question is kind of from a musician, like everything influences you, even if you don't think it is. You know, if you start listening to commercial radio all the time because your CD player is broken, you're gonna start like getting in that kind of mindset. I think anything that you're surrounded by is what influences you. So I think you're really influenced by everything, you know. But as far as like, you know, I mean, yeah, punk rock, reggae, Dixieland, you know, I mean, all the bands, you know, I mean, whether it's Descendants or No Effects or Sex Pistols, Louis Armstrong, country music. I mean, it's really vast, very vast. So I mean, it's kind of it's a long question, you know.
And because it's so diverse, your music serves different kinds of moods, I think. So the slower reggae songs are for like relaxed Sunday evenings maybe, and the faster punk rock songs are for party people and stuff. So do you write your music in different kind of moods as well?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the music comes from the mood you're feeling, you know, at the time. I don't usually like go, okay, I gotta write a reggae song or we gotta write a punk song. It's just the mood you're feeling when you write the song is usually what comes out of the music. So yeah, just how you're feeling that day.
Yeah, and I think the one current theme with all of our music is it's all, whether it's the faster stuff or the slower stuff, it still all has a beat to it where we try to make it you know, we love to play live especially, so we want to try to do a lot of music that's fun to play live, and it makes people want to have a good time, and it makes us want to have a good time. So whether it be a slower reggae song or a faster song, as long as it has a kind of a good beat to it, you know, and I think that's the theme throughout everything, for sure.
And is your audience as mixed and diverse as your music is?
I don't think so. I mean, I think our audience is mostly like, you know, punk rock kids, you know, ska kids for the most part. I mean, I think there's definitely exceptions, but if I would have to say the majority, I would say the majority of the people that we play for don't know who Fletcher Henderson is, or, you know, like they don't. I mean, they because we come from a scene, because we're on Fat Records and because we play with many of those bands, where it's mostly kids that like other types of music, that whether it's on our label or, you know, in that kind of scene, you know, for the most part, for sure.
And this tour you're currently doing is called your Sommer tour, right? So that's what it says on the posters. So is your set list in summer different than it is in winter? Is it a little cooler? Is there more reggae and less punk rock, maybe?
Yeah. It wasn't on purpose. I mean, it was just, you know, we haven't toured in a year, so it was like, okay, it's a summer tour. It's not a new record right now, so. But yeah, there's more reggae. It's a pretty diverse set list. You know, we're trying to make everybody happy. We're doing songs from every album, so it should be a good mix. But yeah, that's reggae.
Okay. And you're currently playing a lot of festivals. Can you really enjoy playing small clubs like this one when it's very hot outside and even hotter inside?
I'm not really looking forward to it, to tell you the truth.
It's our Mad Caddies summer weight loss program. See, we all have to get rid of our winter fat, so this is a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like we just played 2 nights ago. We played a little festival in Austria. It was like perfect breeze. We played outside. Last night we could see the moon. Like as we were playing, the moon was just going over near the beach in Portugal. So I mean, it's gonna be hot. But you know, the most important thing is the crowd. And as long as the music we're playing well and the crowd's having a good time, then I think in the end it really is just as much fun. It just might be a little harder, you know. But I think after the last 9 days, we could use a little detox and so we could stand to sweat out some impurities that we put in our bodies recently. So.
And I read that you're going to play a tour back in the US at home in extra small venues because people ask you to. That's what it's written on your homepage. So, didn't you know about it? Yes, you did. No, is it an advantage for you as well to play in small clubs, or do you like the big stages better?
No, I mean they're both fun in equal ways. You know, it's great to play in front of a large crowd and, you know, in front of people that, you know, maybe half the crowd has never heard of you and are just watching because they're walking by at a festival. That's really cool. But also it's great to play a headlining show at a club where everyone's there to see you and they know all the words, and, you know, it's more of an intimate environment and you can reach out and touch the people and talk to the people while you're playing, and that's just as fun. So I think it's good to have both.
Okay, and what do you do to remain sane on tour? Drink beer?
Vodka, beer, wine.
Vodka, beer, wine. Okay. You're at Fat Records, as you said. This is quite a famous label of Fat Mike, of course. The music industry is changing dramatically at the moment because of all the possibilities the internet is providing. And in an interview, I heard you saying that you find MySpace a good thing. So all these changes that are taking place, are they a chance, or is it like a big problem for bands like you?
Problem, is that? I don't think it's a problem. I mean, I think things are changing, and they're never going to be like they were. You know, it's just life. It's never going to be the way it was. And I think you just have to find other ways to deal with it. You know, and people are gonna. The more years go on, downloading is going to get even more popular. It's going to get impossible. Music probably eventually will be free one day. And they'll look back on times when you had to buy music as like the Stone Age, you know. And the only thing that we can do is just be a good live band, because that's the one thing that you can't duplicate yet. And hopefully that will be when that happens, we'll be dead. So, but you know, I mean, what you lose in album sales. I mean, I think the general opinion in our band is we don't really care who gets our music. I mean, granted, if they buy it, that's great, but as long as they like our band and they come support us and see the shows and maybe buy a T-shirt, then I think it's just the same, you know?
Yeah, and I think the one positive thing that can be really good for bands like us that don't sell millions of records, you know, that just barely make enough money, you know, to keep going, and is kind of what Radiohead did and what other bands are doing, where they're letting the fans set the price for their music. Say, okay, if you want to buy our record, you pay directly to us from our website, and you pay what you think you should pay. And I think that's going to be a popular trend. And you know, it's a lot harder for bands that have never been heard of before to get started. That's harder without a label. But once you're established, then I think it's going to be quite popular for the bands to sell their music directly to the fans. Because the old system was so bad that, I mean, you buy a record, say, for 15 euros at a store. Hey guys. Sorry. You know, you buy a record, say, for $15 at a store. The band's lucky to maybe get $2 of that. So where's all that money going? That's going to the store. That's going to the distribution, for the trucks to ship it around, and for so many people take their hands. Well, why not just say the fan pays $4 directly to the musician? The band gets twice as much money, and the fan pays 75% less. So I think that's a win-win for everybody. And if people get used to, you know, and knowing, I think people would be much happier. I'd be much happier if I'm paying $5 and knowing it's going directly into the pocket of the person making the music, so they can continue to make it. And that's, I think, a positive thing for the future that could be very popular.
Okay, your last album, Keep It Going, was released about 2 years ago. And it only came out 4 years after Just One More. So you had 4 years in between. Why did it take you so long back then? Remember?
I think, well, there was we did a lot of touring, I think, at that time. I mean, we toured for a very long time. And then I thought we just took a break. I mean, you know, I mean, I think things kind of happen naturally, and just to kind of force something out when it's not ready, just to do it, you know, I don't think that's a good thing. So I think we just kind of did it when it seemed like it was the right time to do it, you know.
Yeah, I agree. You can't, with music, you can't force it, you know. It's like, you can't just say, okay, we're going to go make the record, and then you make it, and then you're not happy with it, so what's the point? It's like, it's all about timing. When the timing is right, then that's when you do it.
Yeah. And like I said, too, I think we were getting a lot of touring in a lot of weird spots, you know, in South America and Japan a couple times, Australia. We just kind of seemed to always be getting opportunities to go and play in other places, and, you know, that's really fun. So that's basically why.
Also, the world is a big place, too, so it's like, yeah, the record maybe has come out 2 years ago here, but maybe somewhere else we still haven't even played live. For example, in Australia, we haven't even been there on this record yet, so there's still a Keep It Going tour waiting to happen in South America and Australia and places that we haven't even been yet. So.
What about any plans for a new album now at the moment?
Yeah, we're playing one new song tonight, and we have 5 recorded with the basic tracks, and hopefully when we go back October-ish, we'll all be back in the same place, because some of us live very far apart from each other, so we're not always together. So we have 5 that are mostly done, and then we'll just continue. I know I have a bunch of ideas, he does as well, so we'll get back together, and it definitely won't be 4 years till the next one's out, for sure.
It'll be out early next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have it done by Christmas time is the goal. So.
Yeah.
Well then, thank you very much for the interview. It was a pleasure.